J.K. Simmons joining me here. How are you, J.K.?
I am fine, sir, and you?
I am doing well. So I don't know what to get to first, your incredible Academy Award-winning performance or the performance of your beloved Ohio State Buckeyes. I leave it to you what you want to talk about.
Let's go straight to sports.
I love it. So did you think the season was over when my Michigan Wolverines snapped your quarterback's leg and Cardale Jones is coming out, J.K. Simmons?
Well, I thought it was over when we lost to Virginia Tech in Game 2. But, I definitely had concerns there about whether Cardale would be able to step up the way he did. I mean, that was remarkable.
So what did you think when he went ahead and he took care of everybody in his path, Alabama and Oregon?
Yeah, well, the last 4 games of the season were, not to belabor the victory over the hapless Wolverines, but
yes,
those last 4 games of the season, the last 5, really, Michigan State. I mean, that's like we expect college football teams to improve as the year goes along, but that's the most improved team I think I've ever seen watching college football, and it took me a while to get on the Urban Meyer bandwagon because I was a big Tressel fan, but. It's a great season that he and his staff and those players pulled off. So, the Michigan State game, one of the best called games I've ever seen. The Michigan game, needless to say, the big rivalry. Our number 2 quarterback goes down. Now we're thinking we're in trouble, and then we come out in 59-0 against Wisconsin in the championship game, and then we keep rolling, over the tide. I mean, to sort of be one of the teams responsible for sort of popping the balloon of the mythical SEC, they should all be in the NFL kind of attitude that was prevailing, to me at least, in sports journalism.
I'm on the phone with J.K. Simmons, the winner for Best Supporting Actor for Whiplash, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So how do you become a Tiger/Ohio State fan, J.K.? How does something like that happen?
Yeah, it's a pure geographical mix-up there. My dad I was born in Detroit. My dad taught public school there. He taught at Parcells Junior High in Grosse Pointe Woods. And then when I was 10 years old, he had an opportunity to move up to the college ranks and teach at Ohio State. So my older sister and my younger brother and I, were all, as kids are, kind of bummed out that we were leaving all of our pals and everything. And then I moved to Worthington in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio, and got to go to some Ohio State games during those mid-late 60s when they had some great Woody Hayes teams, and I was sold on Ohio State. Of course, all my new pals were either Reds or Indians fans.
Sure.
I stuck with the Tigers, and they rewarded me with one of the all-time great World Series in 1968 when I was 13.
So is Al Kaline your guy, J.K.?
Al Kaline, Willie Horton, Norm Cash, Lolich, all those guys. Those were great teams. Back
in the Old English D days that you were wearing on the cap when I first met you. J.K. Simmons joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So who do you think, if you had your druthers right now, certainly with Braxton Miller sticking around and Barrett says he wants to be the guy and Cardale Jones the way he played, who would you want to be the starting quarterback for Ohio State Week 1 this fall?
I can't pick. I mean, each guy is deserving. Each guy brings a different skill set. Cardale, seems to have the most sort of NFL-ready arm, and certainly proved that his lack of experience didn't hurt him in those last 3 games of the year. I mean, I think it's great to have that competition going into camp, and I just can't wait to see what happens.
You do realize there's a new sheriff in Ann Arbor, though, right, J.K.?
Yeah, no, listen, believe me, I'm happy to have that rivalry rekindled, because let's face it, it's been a one-way street.
Oh, but
I mean, am I wrong?
Well, listen, it's cyclical, J.K. When Cooper was your coach, when John Cooper was there, it was totally different,
The Cooper days were dark, yes.
Those were dark days, right? I mean, Earl Bruce, Bo had Earl Bruce's number more often than not back in the day too.
Yeah. Do you remember the road sign? Now I don't know if this was fictitious or not, but
okay.
I heard that there was a green like highway road sign on the interstate as you're crossing from Ohio into Michigan, headed north, that said, "Welcome to Michigan." This is like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. "Welcome to Michigan. property of Jim Tressel.
Oh, gosh, I didn't see that one. See? Now, but you would have been, now, in all seriousness, no, you would have been the one to hammer that one into the ground if you had a hammer and if you had the ability to do it, J.K.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got that sort of moxie. J.K. Simmons joining me here now. Now, you mentioned your dad. Is it true your dad was a music teacher? Is that a true story, J.K.?
He was indeed, and a conductor, a choir conductor, actually.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, so was that at any point in time when you received the script for Whiplash, did you think of your dad? Not obviously for your character, but just the fact that here you have this role in front of you, and it's part of your DNA in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I ended up studying music myself. But after Ohio State, he moved on to the University of Montana, where he ran the whole show there. He was the head of the music department, and both of my siblings and I ended up studying there and graduating from there. So I actually studied conducting and music, and yeah, believe me, my dad's legacy, my parents' legacy is often on my mind, and being able to have that skill set, as you said, not the exact same approach that my dad had as that character, but the musical ability was a nice thing to have handed down.
Did you ever have anybody that closely resembled Terrence Fletcher? I mean, at all, or is there somebody that you...
You mean somebody who was that remarkably good-looking? Is that what
Well, that and what's the devilish in a way, J.K.?
No, thankfully, no. I never. I mean, the closest I would say was probably a high school football coach. And certainly that kind of drive is more at home on the football field than in the music room, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we had Jim Morris Sr. here, and I asked him if he's ever even had a football coach like Terrence Fletcher, because he loved you and loved your film, and he said no. He said he never even had a Marine instructor because he's a former Marine like that. At any point, though, J.K., like let's just say the scene that you had with Miles Teller where you slapped him, was there how did you ever get physically exhausted from some of these scenes? I'd love to know what your reaction was after shooting some of the scenes in Whiplash, J.K.
Yeah. My right arm got a little tired after smacking the crap out of Miles. All those takes. I don't know about his cheek, but frankly, he's a good-looking young movie star, so I don't really care. No, it was it was a fast shoot. So there was. I hesitate to say that it was hard work or it was grueling because. I'm not in a trench in Afghanistan. I'm not fighting fires. I'm pretty lucky with what I get to do for a living. But, for the crew and for everybody who was there every second of every day, it was a pretty grueling shoot. Yeah.
At what point did you realize you had the role of a lifetime, J.K.?
I'll tell you what. When Jason Reitman sent me that script, and certainly many good things in my life have come by way of Jason Reitman, and I read that script, and it was just one of those that I couldn't put down. And I thought, oh my God, if I'm the guy that gets the opportunity to play this character, this is going to be, assuming this kid, I don't think I knew yet how young Damien was, but assuming that the guy that wrote this can really direct it, it's going to be a really, really good movie.
And just for those of us who want to throw chairs at people sometimes at work, what is that like, J.K.? Walk me through the sort of feelings one gets when hurling a chair over somebody's head. JK.
Oh, it's a wonderful release. It's very cleansing.
I like it.
You can take all that energy that you build up on your commute to work on the 101 or the 405 or whatever LA thoroughfare you're unfortunate enough to be on.
Sure.
And just vent it right there. Yeah, it was great. And we got to do it several times. A few times with the metal chair and then a couple of times with the rubber chair because, again, Miles was such a pussy that he didn't want to get hit in the head with a metal chair.
You know what, J.K.? That'll happen. Sometimes you just got to toughen up your co-stars sometimes, J.K.
Right? Absolutely.
You just got to toughen them up. And I know you know the 101, too, dropping the kids off, too, J.K. I know that. That's the 101 freeway.
Yes, indeed. Right. Although we managed, when we were at the same school that your kids are at now for elementary school, because I'm 1 or 2 years older than you are,
yes.
We actually were close enough that we rode bikes or walked, or if we did drive, it was like a 3-minute drive through the neighborhood. So I didn't have to deal with the freeway then. I based my work choices and to an extent, our kids' school choices on spending as little time on the freeway as possible.
Well, I didn't know that that was a similarity until just before. I'm just glad that you're not my son's music teacher. That's all I have to say.
Well,
JK.
You should be glad for a number of reasons, because they have great music teachers at that school. So
Yes.
if your kid's into music at all, he will get a great foundation there.
Hey, JK, listen, your speech was a perfect one, and it certainly speaks to the person that you are. Congratulations. I loved watching you in this film, and I look forward to more performances from you in whatever you so choose. And thanks for coming on. I'd love to have you back on as the Tiger season fires up, and certainly as we get closer to Ohio State, Michigan.
Absolutely. Let's talk baseball in the spring.
I'd love it. You got it. You take care.
Thanks, Rich.
You bet. That's J.K. Simmons.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.